Bienvenue au Naturel 6.
Bonjour. Ça va?
Okay, I mean, what I'm trying to do is give us some kind of cultural jumping off point.
Yeah.
Oh, this table.
Why are you so frightened of mainland Europe? This is the problem with this country. This is episode 29 of our adventures in the world of Reliquiae. I'm Harry. Obviously, I'm culturally competent. I'm a lover of art, different languages, as you can see in my world building. But I'm surrounded by Luddites, Philistines, bastards.
Sorry, Luddites?
Yeah, baby.
Excuse me, I'm using technology right here.
Someone else's because you refused to put your hand in your pocket and pay Big Apple.
Yeah, that is mine.
It's Hollie's.
Why don't you get
Luddites, he says, wearing a shirt made in the 70s. What do you mean I haven't moved on?
I just realised that my wife has mine. She's using it at work.
Well,
and I'm like, it'll be back soon when she's done with work.
She's
so why
been
do I
gone.
buy a
She
whole-
has, and this is not an exaggeration, been gone almost solidly for about 4 months at this point, hasn't she? She's really busy and she works
back
a lot.
soon.
You can go back through every episode and see if it's my iPad or not.
yeah.
And it is.
What's your iPad look? Have you ever brought your own iPad?
Yes,
blue.
I have,
It's
yeah,
blue.
yeah. It's got a blue
It's
like this one.
case thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's that yeah.
Maybe, and then the reveal at the end of the arc is actually that was Alex's iPad.
Yeah. My wife's been here the whole time.
I also have an iPad, but I don't really do as much stuff with it. But I did buy myself a lovely pen. And the other day, I was trying to use it. And then you came around the back to see what I'd been doing because I've been studiously working on it. And you, and I just. By the way, please, do you want to tell the story?
I'll take up the narrative. So I was like, Ben, I think it's fair to say, Ben is the one who gives the impression of having done the least prep. Like when we come into the studio, often I'll be working on something, Hollie will be organising stuff. Aoife's normally asleep. But Alex will turn up. There's something's gone wrong with travel, so Alex will turn up a little bit flustered. Doug gets everyone's sausage rolls. And so often it'll be like Ben sort of, and I was like, my goodness, Ben's doing some work. Ben looked very official and officious. He just sat up with an iPad, and I saw him writing on his iPad with one of those fancy pens, and I thought, I wonder what he's writing. And I looked behind him, and he'd opened up a big document, a big blank page, and just written things I don't like. And underlined it to start a list. It was kind of silly. And also he'd written it beautifully.
What was on the list?
Nothing.
Nothing. He hadn't started it. He just clearly thought, I tell you what I need to do. I tell you what I need to do today. Once and for all, I need to establish the things I don't like.
Because I just was really, I thought, I want to be an iPad guy. I want to be an iPad guy. So I bought an iPad and I was like, well, I'll get a good iPad. And then I got a good iPad. And then I thought, I want to be an iPad guy with an iPad pen. So I got an iPad pen. I don't need any of those things. I don't need them. But I wanted to be that. It's all the gear, no idea. I thought I can be that guy.
Full kit wanker.
And I'm not.
Full kit wanker.
Honestly.
Shin pads on.
Yes. I've turned up and I'm like, Iron Man without any idea. And I'm just telling you, I don't know how to use the suit. I don't know how to use the pen.
Yeah.
Like I'm just playing around with it. And the only thing I knew how to do was write things I don't like.
Well, if I was making a list of things I don't like, I'd tell you what would be quite close to the top of my list. When the computer completely breaks and we have no music.
Yeah, we spoke to everyone. We've already recorded the intro for this episode once.
I actually did the first one in Hungarian and then threw you all with my brilliant French.
We were halfway through, not even halfway through the recap, and then the music stopped, and then Tom had to come in the room and go, the PC's just exploded.
Yeah.
And then it electrocuted him.
And then it electrocuted
But
poor
the
Tom.
good thing is now he can see the past, which actually is only his own part. Essentially, I think he's just retained his own memories, but he's trying to frame it like a superpower.
Should we give a shout out to Sam?
We give it over to
And you
Sam
can't
off
see,
screen.
there's
You can't see, but there's a
laptop on a stool.
A laptop on a stool, and there's an absolute techno edit pervert, our friend Sam. just watching
wearing his ball gag.
Yeah, I don't know if he's in. I mean, he might be in bed. He's not very well, which is why he could be
in bed.
He could be in bed.
Yeah, he is in bed.
Sam, tell us on the WhatsApp. Are you in bed?
I've got it.
Tell us on
I
the
have it
WhatsApp.
open. I have it open.
Okay,
So we're
good.
gonna. He's typing, everybody. This is people always say in the YouTube comments. This is what. Can everyone in our comment section put "Get well soon, Sam"?
Yeah.
And then we can bury Sam in goodwill.
Yeah.
He's still typing.
But isn't that deep?
I am not in bed, but I am surrounded by tissues. Take that as you will. Let's say hi to our heroes.
playing Dolly de Winter, the tiefling bard / horse.
Hey!
Hi, I'm Alex Jordan, and I'm playing I, the Kobold Rogue.
Hi, I'm Doug Cockle. I'm playing Kelmus, the Dragonborn Druid.
Hi, I'm Hollie, and I'm playing Elwyn Grenweir, the human fighter.
I'm Ben Starr. I'm playing Radian Thornbear, the expert horse rider.
And I'm Harry McEntire, and this lot might be the tissues, but without me, there's nothing to wipe up. Shall we?
Harry!
The PC blew up for
Shall we
that.
play some Dungeons and Dragons?
You went to press.
I went to press the button. I'm going to retain the verisimilitude, and I'd like now there to be like a series of, like a sound of a load of pots and pans falling down. Last time, you began nowhere. In a space between spaces. Emerging from the other side of the gate that you had entered in the caves of themselves, you found yourselves again beneath the earth. Here, though, there was light. A beam of summer sun that illuminated the darkness. After misty steps, dimension doors, and a few trips up a rope, you were all above ground and immersed in the perpetual summer of the Sister Forest, one of the 4 seasonal forests in the far southeast of Reliquiae. As you began to take in your surroundings, the wind picked up, and a familiar scent found Dolly and Kelnis, somnium, an addictive hallucinogenic mushroom much prized by some and feared by others. Parvus and I, the character, not the me, spotted prominent kobold markings on trees and rocks that offered a guided path through the forest, though it became apparent that the non-kobolds in the party could neither see nor feel these markings. Following the emerging trail, you delved deeper into the greenery and the sunlight. As you did, you naturally separated into smaller groups, Radian pressing Kelnis on the effects of somnium and revealing his desire to partake of said mushroom, whilst Dolly opened up to Elwyn about her past. The tiefling revealed that, due in parts to somnium, she had been sold into the web by someone with whom she had fallen in love. Parvus spotted an unusual arrangement of flowers on the forest floor, a semicircle of dahlias wrapped around a large white stone, with a V carved into it. It had no magical properties nor mechanical function, but had clearly been placed there intentionally. As I tried to spot the next trail marker, he saw a figure slumped at the base of a tree up ahead. It was a somnium-addled halfling called Cloda, from whom you tried to extract information. In the palm of her hand was a tattooed white circle with a black V at its centre. She spoke of a group called the Children of the Midnight Moon, and someone known as Vigil, before she passed out on the forest floor. You continued down the trail until voices caught your attention. The voices came from 2 unmasked members of the Gloam, sharing a moment of respite in the sun. After a brief conversation, they made their way back towards whatever task they had been assigned, tracked by the newly dead, who also stumbled across the body of a dwarf who had died after eating poisonous mushrooms. The Gloam moved through a thick area of foliage, eyes stealthing forward behind him and seeing that an area of forest had been cut down and 20-foot-high somnium mushrooms were being harvested and processed. He returned to tell you all of his discoveries. Kelnis hypothesized that such a vast quantity of somnium could be used to poison an entire population. You decided to investigate more after darkness fell, so found a suitable area and rested until the sun had long set. You woke and formed a plan. Dolly and Radian were to pose as Gloam, with Kelnis wild-shaped into a spider on Radian's shoulder, while the rest of you waited, hidden or invisible in the forest should things go south. They did, but in ways that were hard to anticipate. In the centre of the clearing were great scaffolds and various buildings that functioned as part of the Somnium processing outpost. The place hummed with activity even in darkness. Dolly and Radian were met with suspicion that turned swiftly to hostility after they were unable to provide satisfactory reasons for being there, and Dolly revealed a tattoo of the Children of the Midnight Moon. When the leader of the Gloam contingent, a tall humanoid with dark skin and braids, demanded that their hands be bound, Dolly cast Dimension Door and transported herself and Radian 500 feet back the way they came. Kelnis saw this as an opportunity and began to burn down the scaffolds, aided by I. Workers and Gloam rushed around, the former fleeing, the latter either trying to fight or Alex has been left hanging for a good 10 seconds and I'm enjoying this.
Oh, and you almost had a completely clean run.
Workers and Gloam rushed around, the former fleeing, the latter either trying to fight or to discover the location of Radian and Dolly, who were in fact approaching rapidly, Radian having polymorphed Dolly into a warhorse. Scaffolds fell, Somnium smouldered and smoked, and I tried to discover what understanding existed between the workers and the Gloam. With chaos all around, the Gloam chose to retreat to Haven, fleeing down a track to the west. I followed them, whilst the rest of you reunited with Radian, resplendent on Dolly, who neighed and whinnied. And that's where we are now. And I would like all of you, apart from Alex, to leave the room.
We just sat down.
Holy shit balls!
Old Douglas born in a barn,
Do you know-
leaving the doors open.
Do you know what? We actually are kind of, there's a benefit right now to the fact that all of the PC stuff has gone kaput because they can't see a thing.
So I just want you to know, none of this is personal, okay? Cool. You know when Ashley Cole was walking off the pitch and pointing to his pocket after that match against Ronaldo?
Sam!
You are following the Gloam.
Mm-hmm.
They run out of the fire-wreathed processing plant. They flee as the mushrooms that you've caused to catch fire send these plumes of purple and orange and yellow smoke. The scaffolds have collapsed. The buildings are beginning to also catch alight. The summer forest floor, areas of it quite damp and replete with dew, others drier. And so there are little patches of moss that are even starting to catch light. And the caster, you can see as she starts to run, her hood falls down and you see these braids that hang down to the base of her ribs. They're flying around her as she runs, calling out to the Gloam and calling out to these workers, everyone twisting in and out of each other, panic-stricken as they run towards what you assume is Haven, whatever or wherever that is. You've cast invisibility.
Invisibility. And how are we going to operate with the boots of speed here? Because we're out of combat.
I'm going to say you can... none of them can run faster than you anyway. But at the moment, you can move 120 feet, right? Your speed has been doubled.
My speed is doubled.
You rolled all 10 rounds.
Yeah. But my speed is still 30.
Your speed is 30, but your
so it's
dash...
60, but then I have a dash of 30, so it's 90.
No, your whole speed is doubled.
Dash is doubled as well?
Yeah, your speed is doubled. I believe that should double your speed. Yeah.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah, because also technically you have cunning action, which would make your speed 90 anyway, I think. So I'm going to say that you can, with ease, keep pace with this group. You are invisible. You are a very stealthy boy. It's up to you where you position yourself within this group as they start to run. And concurrently, things will be harder to stay fully hidden the closer you get to the center. But they are running west.
I want to keep myself just slightly on their trail. Mm-hmm. I want to maintain a sense of where the leader is. I don't want to, and my goal is to not lose sight and track of her.
Okay. You realize that no one is scattering into the forest. This is like a sprint down a road. And after a time, I'm going to say your boots, I say it was about 2 rounds. I can't exactly recall when you tapped them. Might have been 3, but I'll give you another 8 minutes of this double speed. Mm-hmm. The journey that they are on seems to be longer than that, or it has the feeling of you can't see anything on the horizon. You can't see, obviously, an outpost. The forest has got thicker again, and so this road is twisting and turning through the forest. Roll me a perception check.
Nat 20.
Okay. You see that the leader grabs one of her warriors, and the fire is, and the sounds of the fire and the falling, the scaffolds have all fallen now. So there's no great crashing or collapsing noises. I would say you've made it by this point 500 feet away. And you see her grab one of her warriors, and you hear above the noise and everyone's breath and the sounds of the forest, you hear her say, "Ensure that they find their way back to the sprawl. I will find Lilith." And she runs on a little ahead of the rest of the group. Roll me history or insight with advantage.
16.
And what is that on, history or insight?
Insight.
Insight. You have been around your companions long enough to recognize...
Hold, actually. Greater than that.
Yeah.
Because I am proficient. So anything that I'm proficient in, and anything under a 10 becomes...
Anything you're proficient in?
It's, let me get the...
Wow.
Yeah, it's... Where's the...
Is this an expertise thing?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you doubled your proficiency on expertise.
No, it's...
Oh.
God, where's the bloody... Hang on.
Let me look it up as well.
So... Reliable talent. Whenever you make an ability check that uses one of your skills or tool proficiencies, you can treat a d20 roll of 9 or lower as a 10.
Great.
And I'm proficient.
Great.
So
it's a 10 plus... You rolled lower than a 10, right?
Sorry.
Did we do all that and you rolled higher than a 10?
I rolled a 10 anyway, but I just in my brain I was thinking, 10 and a...
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah.
Great.
But that was because I wanted to bring that up because that was something that I hadn't actually used yet because all my stuff I've been doing was like stealth. And I wanted to make a point because athletics, insight, survival, stealth, and sleight of hand.
Great.
All, so yeah.
So
and dex and acrobatics. Okay.
So you have spent enough time with your companions that you've seen how they all move. And Radian is faster than the rest of your companions. And she seems to be faster than the rest of hers. So you can assume she is some kind of wood elf. Mm-hmm. And incrementally, she's making gains. She's a little bit quicker than them. Mm-hmm. Do you want to stay with the group who are moving with these workers, or do you want to follow the leader?
Follow the leader.
Okay. How far do you want to follow her?
I want to stay 30 to 40 feet behind at all times.
And are you kind of following her in your head to wherever she's going? Okay. She runs through the woods. You bypass this group of warriors who are glome warriors who are sort of either guiding or escorting. You can't entirely be sure which. Roll me insight. And if it's lower than a 10...
Yes, 16.
16. They don't seem to be treating these workers with any disrespect. They're not chastising them for being slow. It's more like an escort than it is a forced march or anything that implies them being prisoners in the way in which they're moving. And you follow this glome leader. And the path twists, takes a sort of S shape. There's a lake on the left-hand side, a rise that this forest road undulates around. And then after another 15, 20 minutes of sometimes walking, sometimes running, you can see as close really as you can get in the forest to a built-up area. No trees have been felled here, and it is by this point the middle of the night. But there is a wall, there is a sprawling collection of buildings outside that wall. And roll me perception.
19.
19. You can just make out, you think, beyond the buildings, beyond the wall, high in the canopy, little flecks of light, as if perhaps torches or seen through open windows. And she is running still towards this built-up area and these buildings.
Yeah, I'm just gonna maintain.
You're gonna follow.
Yeah.
Roll me a stealth check. You are invisible.
21.
21. As she approaches the first of these buildings that spread out from that wall, I went to press it, but we don't have it, blows a glome whistle. You are, did you say, about 30 feet behind her? And she starts to move through this patchwork of tents, tumble-down buildings. Even here in the moonlight, you can see that the bark of the trees that make up these buildings hasn't been stripped. And so each plank kind of contributes to this almost layered tapestry of silvers and browns and bronzes, depending on which tree had been felled for what purpose. And the permanent summer of the summer forest means that areas of these plants are still growing, even after they've been felled. And so there are these irregular angles of kind of young branches jutting out, trying to reach up towards the canopy, some in bloom, some full of berries. And she continues to move through this cluster of buildings. You see heads poking out from the buildings which she passes, most roused from sleep, confused. They've heard the whistle, the scream of the whistle. And up on the palisade, roll me perception.
Nat 1.
Nat 1. You are suddenly aware that there are a lot of people looking. And this feels increasingly dangerous. And you hear someone go, "Oh, look!" And there's a moment where you think it's about you, and then realize that they're talking about her, but it momentarily discombobulates you. It feels that horrible, high-pitched, light panic in a heart that suddenly almost threatens to come out your mouth because you think you've been spotted, and of course you haven't. And she skirts round the palisade until she reaches a set of gates. And you see her wave up to the top of those gates, and the gates are dragged open. And she heads inside.
Okay. Did I see any kind of like, as the gates open, she went inside, did I see anyone on the other side of the gates? Could I see sort of like...
You can roll me... your last one was really bad.
Yeah.
So I'll have you roll me perception with disadvantage. As you sort of try to calm yourself and...
17.
17.
I rolled 2 17s.
You rolled 2 17s,
Yeah.
so what does that become?
Oh,
you
as in,
just
because
have
I
it,
did
right.
with disadvantage, but I rolled 2 17s. So.
Right. What you see is, as the gates open, you see that this town or village, whatever it might be within this palisade, is sort of in 2 parts. In the center, there's this huge enveloping mound of somnium, but it's not emitting light. It's like mummified would be wrong, dried would be wrong, but it seems to no longer be living in the way you saw before.
Mm-hmm.
And there are buildings sort of clustered around it. But then the rest of the town is made of tree houses and high connected platforms up in the canopy. One particularly beautiful, elaborate treehouse of many levels in a great, wide-trunked tree at the very center of this cluster of mushrooms. And when you look in, you see that there are people peering down from the top of the palisades, and you see at least one glow mask among those faces.
Mm-hmm.
And now the gates are starting to close.
I would like to try and slip in behind.
Roll me stealth.
26.
Great. In you go. And she seems to be heading for the cluster.
Okay. I would like to stay back near the...
Near the inside of the exterior wall.
Yeah.
In the shadows.
Yeah.
You want to stay there and watch where she goes, or do you want to follow her?
How far how many feet is that cluster sort of away from me?
I will say... Excuse me.
Grumbly, belly,
Grumbly,
belly.
grumbly. That's my thinking stomach. 30, 60, 90, 120, 150. The beginning of the cluster is around 180 feet from you. But it's deep.
As the route that she would take to get to where she's going, you say there's people on the palisades looking
Yes.
down. Can I see anyone sort of in that space? Do you know what I mean? Am I looking at it going, I'm going to be going through a body of people
Roll me insight.
to follow her?
There's going to be... Yeah, roll me insight.
18.
18. There are people here milling around, but what you get immediately is that they are people who have been alerted by the blowing of a whistle. So it's fair to say that everyone here is actively on guard. So what I'm going to start having people do is this is no longer going to be passive perception. If you come out the shadows, people are going to be actively watching her and actively looking for things beyond the walls and inside. That's what I think is that's what you glean from people's body language, and from the energy you're walking into.
Okay. I would like to stick back by the walls and see if I can watch where she kind of goes.
Roll me a perception check as you see how much of her route you can track.
15.
15. She goes towards this cluster of mushrooms. There's an L-shaped building just before it. You lose sight of her around that L-shaped building, and then you see her again appear at this mushroom cluster, which almost is in a very, very basic term. I don't want you to think about this too literally, but it's almost like an almost perfect sphere with a kind of wedge cut out or a small gap that allows access to the center of that cluster. And you can see the width of the tree trunk, but you can't see the base of the tree trunk from where you are. But that comes out from the center of this cluster. You see her appear just next to that mouth where you would walk in towards the tree trunk, and then she skirts around it to the left, moving clockwise.
Okay.
And then you lose sight of her.
Okay. I guess I would like to start trying to make my way through.
Okay. Interesting. Cool. Let me just bring some stuff up.
Those are interesting.
It's marvelous.
I don't like the smile. I like that it makes you happy.
Alex, as ever, you are making me very happy. I like D&D. I like playing it. I like when people do stuff. Right. Roll me a luck check.
8.
Okay. I'm going to say that means the people that you don't necessarily want to be looking, who are the most observant, happen to be the ones that are looking. I'm going to make a roll, so let me just look up something to be very, very clear on how this works. Let me look that up as the condition. Okay. I'd like you to roll me a stealth check.
Nat 20.
Some good rolls in there, none of them beat that. You start to pick your way across this kind of more open area. Roll me perception. I'm going to say you can...
Nat 20.
Nat 20. You are suddenly aware of someone staring into the space that you are moving through.
Mm-hmm.
Staring into it with intent.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the skull of an animal. Perhaps a deer, perhaps a wolf, covering their face. But from it, they have 2 curved horns. Nat 20, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have horns very similar to Dolly's. And they look to be part of the mask, part of the skull. They are not naturally occurring horns. And it's a figure who is covered in bracelets, earrings covered in gold. Staring, they have a staff in one hand. And they're staring into the space where you have passed through, but they did not roll a natural 20.
So staring into that space. I would like to cast prestidigitation and just create a sound behind them of like, just some sort of like, maybe 2 planks of wood, just, you know,
Great.
nothing crazy, just a little like, nothing that would, like, not the kind of sound that's like, someone's trying to break something over there.
Yeah.
Just like it could just be the wind has made something go, it could
Yeah.
be anything.
And their head like snaps fast towards it. Roll me insight.
16.
Okay. You get the sense that even with the swiftness of that head snap, this is someone who misses very little.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And if I want to pursue, I'm going to shift my focus.
Okay.
I'm not trying to follow
The glow.
the glow. This person's got my interest.
Mm-hmm.
and I want to observe them from the shadows and see where they go.
They are going to follow the gloam person round that cluster of mushrooms.
Then I will, staying 30 feet back, follow them.
Stealth.
Is a 23.
Okay. They go around to this cluster of mushrooms and they push their way past gloam guards. And you hear these gloam guards immediately. You're not supposed to go in. You're supposed to stay out. I will move where I please in my own town. And these gloam guards, even through the masks, you see their eyes dart down. Very well. And they move into this door, I would say, at this point, you would have to be able to move silently in order to get through. Stealth mechanically means your ability to move really. I would have you roll this with disadvantage to get past two people stood either side of a door that she shuts after herself.
Yeah. Building-wise, though, how big is this building?
This is quite a large building. It is. Let me. I will say. So it's 90 feet long. Single story. It has, as far as you can see from where you are, only one set of doors, and these doors are guarded.
Any windows?
You don't know from where you are.
Okay. I would like to cast Prestidigitation again. The sound of just a slight knock from the inside of the door.
Cool. And the guards sort of turn slightly bemused to one another. And one says, it's open.
I'm going to do nothing.
And God, it's tense. It's open. Have a look. I open up the door. There's no one there.
Can I get a sight line through into the...
Roll me perception with disadvantage.
It's a 2 10s in a row.
2 10s, which...
G's flat, yeah.
You see that it opens into a sort of large square room. Quite large, maybe 30 feet square. You don't see the creature with the skull, and you don't see the gloam with the braids.
I would like to try and skirt down, let's say if I'm looking at the front, the left side of the building.
Left-hand side. Cool. Roll me stealth.
A 23.
23. You slip down. This side of the building is very quiet. What are you looking for?
Windows, another
Windows.
door down the back, anything, whatever's...
There is a window.
Okay.
There is a window into a small, what looks to be a office. Office is probably the wrong word. A study or a created study. Maps, charts. And you can see within it the gloam who you saw with the braids. Her chest rising and falling hard as she leans on a table. There's a figure with their back to you, their head obscured, their features obscured by a gloam cloak hood. As you can see that the gloam leader with the braids is saying something. You don't know what. It is almost impossible to lip read, I would say, through one of these very narrow mouth slits.
I would like to just try and crack the window.
Roll
Is it a slide
me
up?
a sleight of hand check. This will be high. Really high.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this is a DC 20 sleight of hand check. What did you roll?
A 19, I get a plus 11.
Yeah. The tiniest, barest crack, and it's almost like it's like in your head, it's like a snap into sound. And you can hear say, they said they were from perhaps Alvelion. It was unclear, but one of them bore the tattoo of the children of the midnight moon. At this point, you see the person with the skull enter. And the braided gloam turns and says, one of yours wearing our masks, our cloaks, came and they have burned the mushrooms. They have destroyed the plant. All that we had is in smoke and ruins. And the figure behind the skull looks quizzical, and you hear another voice. Explain yourself, Celandine. I have nothing to explain. The children know it is not in their interests to burn the mushrooms. In fact, it would be heretical to do so. Whatever has happened is clearly some kind of trick. You do not cast doubt upon the children of the midnight moon. We are children of vigil. We are children of the mushrooms themselves. We would not commit a sacrilegious act. Well then, someone posing as you, or perhaps you cannot trust those closest to you. Well, perhaps you cannot trust those closest to you, for they wore your cloaks and your masks. Is there anything else I need to know? I am hearing about this for the very first time as you are. We ran. There was nothing we could do. We have taken no losses. At least that is something. We are still strong. Perhaps in the morning, what? Perhaps in the morning we could return. We will wait until sunlight. It does us no favors to be out now in the dark. I will speak to Vigil. He will want to know. Well, you better get what rest you can. You will be back out there in the morning. Understood. Understood. And with a wave of a hand, this figure sat at the desk dismisses the gloam. And this figure in the skull remains. He will not like this. I like it no better than him. You should speak. We should speak with him. In the morning, perhaps, he needs his rest. Yeah, you are right. You should get what you can. Yes. And then the person in the skull leaves as well. I will say these are all feminine voices, or female-sounding voices.
I am going to, with my understanding from my insight that this person is vigilant, doesn't miss a lot. I get the sense that people are now going to be exiting this building, and I want to get ahead of that. I don't want to be caught trying to I don't want to be coming back out behind the building at the same time as them. I'm like, before they have a chance to get out this building, I want to try and make my way back out of the camp.
Invisibility lasts an hour.
Yeah.
I want you to roll me a luck check. I said it was at least a certain period of time. What's your check?
It's a 7.
Okay. I'm going to give you a buy on the first one. You've got your head looking over this windowsill. This tiny crack. You're listening and you're looking. And you suddenly realize that as you suddenly feel like a tingling sensation. You've never had a spell run out of time before, right? It's weird. It's like pins and needles. Starts in your claws, and then you feel it start to rush through the palms of your hands, up your arms, starting also in your toes, your tips of your ears. You realize you're starting to become visible, looking in through this window. These two figures still sat there for now.
I would like to just as slowly as I can, no rush movements.
Roll me stealth.
21.
21. You are now visible.
Okay. I would like to attempt to, around the wall, the path of least encounter with potential people.
I'm now going to have you can still roll, I'm going to let you roll stealth checks for everything you do. I totally understand that what you're going to do is stick to the shadows. I also know how incredibly stealthy you are. Because you are now visible, technically, in an area that's on high alert. I'm going to have you roll, if you want to get out of there, 3 checks with disadvantage.
So 6 rolls total.
6 rolls total. Yep. And we'll treat each one as a pair. So what was the results on those?
16 and 18.
16 and 18. But that becomes?
So it's disadvantage 16, it becomes a 27.
Okay, great. First check, successful. You managed to skirt around the edge of this building and find the palisade.
It's a 21.
You skirt around this interior wall of the palisade again. Let me see. Nothing from the guards that are looking. Last one to get yourself out of there.
Is a 21.
Is a 21. That is makeable for them. Which you rolled an 8 before, which is how you got this one. So let me try you with another one. What do they have? A +2. I'm going to roll for 2 people. Dropped it. And that one.
Oh, shit.
21, right?
Yeah.
19 or higher. 15 becomes a 17. You get out. Okay. You're out in that cluster of buildings. Oh, they've shut the gate, baby. They wouldn't leave the gate open. You get yourself right up to the gate.
I would like to get right up to the gate.
Yes.
Is there any sort of scalable, is there any sort of onto the palace?
Absolutely, there are little sets of steps. People are stood at the tops of these sets of steps.
Yeah. Can I take a look at this door to see how easy it would be for me to crack it open?
Roll me perception, and I'm going to allow you to roll a perception, which will kind of give you a lot of the camp if you roll high, because you've been in here for a little while.
Yeah, 16.
16, okay. What you notice is this. The palisade is about, in fact, I'm not going to give you an about, because I believe I have an actual specific. The palisade is 15 feet high. The canopy starts at 20 feet. This is not an area where you can walk along the walls. Instead, there are towers. 7 of them. It's roughly, it's a sort of rough rectangular shape, but where, again, very much like a trapezium, where the top corner cuts off. So it's like a rectangle with a big corner cut out of it in its most basic terms. There are 2 towers at the most northern points of the left and right arms of the rectangle or trapezium. There are 2 more at the base, and then there are 3 more, 2 on the right-hand side and 1 on the left. But there are areas of palisade that are not manned.
Yeah.
The gates themselves are heavy. They are big.
I would like to make my way to a part of the palisade that's not manned.
The best area you ascertain is the eastern side.
Great. I'd like to head that way to try and...
Roll me a stealth check.
Is a 21.
21. Okay. These are, the bark has been left on these, which means it is possible to climb, but it will require an acrobatics or athletics check. This is a DC 15 to climb up this palisade.
It's an @20, and I get a +11 as well, but it's an @20.
You scale this and vault it. And as you come down, you are in a mercifully quiet area of the buildings beyond.
Okay. What's my situation with my boots of speed now?
Gone.
Completely gone. Cool. Well, I would like to just I want to pick my way back through. I want to get out of this camp area.
Yeah. Roll me 1 more stealth to get out of this area.
Disadvantage or?
No, because this is not a military area
Cool.
you've moved into. Much more.
29.
29. You get back towards. You get back out of these buildings, out of this conurbation. This is the longest we've ever had.
I know.
2 people playing.
Yeah.
And as you're doing so, you see in the distance the rest of the globe and the workers making their way back.
In the way that I'm coming.
Yeah, but I'm going to hand wave that you can skirt around them.
Okay, cool. So I'd like to skirt around, and I'm going to just start sprinting back towards.
Great.
Yeah.
So we return to the forest. Radian has just sprung down from Dolly. His hair very much visible, which I think was a point you really wanted to make.
Whoa, girl.
I'm sorry, look, where's Dolly?
What do you mean, where's Dolly?
Where is... No.
Dolly?
Dolly.
And then with a flick of the hair. with a whimsical flick of the hair and a pat. Do you want to describe what happens and how you reemerge?
I think it's just like, well, I don't know how polymorph works for you, but I think it's just a cloud of smoke. I don't want to do the whole, like, elongating transformation thing.
man.
No.
Do you think that you are chewing a bit of grass between your...
Yeah, just like, oh, don't recommend it.
Does
Sorry about
it hurt?
Surprisingly, no, it tingles a little bit.
You
Wasn't entirely unpleasant.
You were riding back on...
Well,
What happens? Where did you go?
We tried to get out of there.
No, you was not wrong. I just wonders where.
Oh, like...
way back there. We weren't getting here fast enough, so hence.
Yeah, the whole thing was a mess.
This was a wise move to turns into a horse.
and then...
Good thinkings, Dolly.
Thank you.
What's that?
What's what?
You just see above the canopy and in the canopy fires raging, smoke billowing out.
So I guess the plan kind of worked?
Yeah, we just didn't really have the exit plan in place. So some people stayed to try and make the plan work.
Alan, can you pull this arrow out of my shoulder?
No, you can keep it there as a reminder.
Where is... You
Yeah.
can comes out of the... You can show yourself.
He was right behind us.
Hi.
Aye.
And Parvus drops into Coble. You would understand this a little bit. You hear, where are you? Nothing.
Where's the gloom? What's happened?
They fled. They fled west. They said something about Haven, and when they couldn't find us and everything was on fire, they just started running.
Okay.
Last time I saw he was shooting flames from his fingers at a rickety scaffolding.
Okay, but in what direction?
west. They just ran. Do you think he's gone after them?
I have no idea, but he's not here. He's not in there.
Eyes many things, but he's not always an idiot. And I'd hope that he'd run away from an open fire. But...
He would have ways of staying hidden, would he not?
Parvis, you know exactly how I feel about this, but... After everything that happened in Avelion, he's been desperate to go off and show that he can do it.
But he can.
Where does that leave us? What do we do?
Does we wait? Does we follow?
Whatever we do, I don't think we should wait here.
No.
Did you see which way they went?
Yes.
West.
Do we head after them? We can't leave him. We can't just assume that he's going to come back.
Can't...
Where is tribe?
We have two options as far as I see it. We either go back to camp and wait. That's the one place he'll know where to find us. Or we assume we know what he's going to do and we follow them.
We just don't know what we're going to find.
No, I know.
We could just set camp here and wait.
I wouldn't wait here. And he won't know where here is.
Sooner or later, the Gloom are going to come here to try and assess the damage. They're not going to want to leave all this somnium just sizzling. They're going to try and salvage what they can.
So do we go after him?
I think we kind of have to.
You saw which way he went.
Yeah, well, no. I didn't see which way he went. I saw which way the Gloam went. I can only assume that he's gone after the Gloam.
Everyone roll me insight checks. With advantage. He's your buddy. I'll have Parvis roll as well. What did you get?
I got a 4 and a 1.
Okay.
Which becomes a 7 and a 4.
I remains a mystery to you. Cal?
12.
12.
14.
14.
7.
Okay. Parvis rolled a 28. Parvis says,
We are taught that when in danger, information is often the path to safety. I thinks he will have followed.
Then we follow I.
Don't see what other choice we have.
Okay.
Lead the way.
which path do you take? Do you skirt around this forest and try and pick up this kind of flaming area and try to pick up the trail, or do you walk right through
I wouldn't
it?
want to step back into that camp out in the open like that. We sort of know the direction, so we try and pick it back.
Who's taking the lead?
Well, Kellen's, I think.
Yeah, I think it's probably us too.
So, Kel and Elowin roll me survival checks as you try to pick up this trail, skirting around.
I still have Pass Without Trace going.
That's good, but that doesn't help you find something.
No, I know. I'm
Great,
just...
great.
This means it's harder for us to find you, find something.
Yeah.
No, you're all Pass Without Trace as well.
Yes,
Everybody
sweet.
I want to within a 30-foot radius gets the +10 to stealth.
Thank you.
Each creature you choose within a 30-foot
Would
radius.
that be when the casting happens?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah,
It works while you're in the...
I assume that if someone is there when it's cast and they step out of the 30-foot radius, they lose the bonus.
Until they go back in.
But until they go back in.
So it's
think
almost
so.
like you've got like a beacon, like a little
bubble.
going, yeah. We can pass in right away.
Titan bubble.
I don't know. It's up to you, Harry.
Yeah, I would say what I'd like you to do, because no one was in the radius when you cast it, here's what I'd like. Could you please roll an Arcana check to sort of retrospectively try to give them the benefit of this? Let's call this what's your spell save DC?
16.
Okay, let's call it a 16 then. In order for you to kind of bring them all into it, kind of minutes after the spell was cast.
Okay.
Let's call it a DC 16. Let's call it a wisdom save, because that's your spell casting modifier. You're sort of trying to shape that magic.
A wisdom save.
Yeah,
So use my wisdom saving throws.
yeah. Fuck off.
It's a natural one.
Okay.
But I
okay.
mean, that makes it a 9, really. But
Okay, so I'm going to say, unfortunately, you're not able to bring everyone into that radius and have them feel the benefit. But I would still like a survival check from you. Have you
14.
already? 14 from you. Could you roll me a survival check, please, Cal?
14.
14. Okay, I would say between you, you're able to pick up the trail, and it is like a road. It's a proper road that moves through the forest. Roll perception, everybody. Anyone? Would anyone get higher than a 20?
Nat 20 makes
21.
it a 28.
21.
Wow.
13.
Okay, so I got it. Pal's got
them
13.
horse
That's
senses.
awesome. Parvis and Dolly just looking at that.
Piece of
There
carrot.
is something. There is a savage beauty to the burning.
As the three of you are looking out, and you see, Kel, you'll see something a little bit extra. What you see is as far in the distance as your dark vision allows. As you get back onto this road, you can see people on the road running. It's hard to make out numbers. They're a long way away. Kel, you see that one of the gloam, her hood has fallen and her black braids are visible and hang down to the base of her the sort of base of her ribs, and you can identify that as the caster. They are running down this road to the west.
As they were leaving, they were running to a place called Haven, so I don't know if we're running towards more gloam or...
Don't know what he was expecting to find out.
Sometimes I think he just wants to prove that he can find things out.
Well, we don't know what Haven is. And Haven... They asked about Haven.
Yeah,
And
sounds
we
like
didn't have the answer, and that's why things went the way they did.
could be a gloom stronghold.
Exactly. He's already inside there. The four of us are running towards it.
5.
Yeah, I was about to say 5 compared to myself. Sorry,
No,
mate.
no, it's
Wait, you're still here?
It's fine.
You're so short and quiet.
Thank you. Thank you.
You don't know kobold culture, but that seems to have been the nicest thing you could possibly have said to Parvis.
It's bad enough we ran into that camp without a real plan or a real get-out strategy, and now we're running into a bigger one.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I haven't loved the encounters we've had with the glooms so far. I'm not. We still don't know enough about what they want, what their whole deal is. I don't know why. Well, I do know why I wants to find out more, but I'm not sure that now is the opportune time.
Well, I guess we're not going after the gloam this time, are we? We're gonna try and find
Just
Ai.
get him back.
They clearly want lots and lots of somnium, which is bad news for a lot of people.
And I get that, Kelnus, but right now I don't care.
What about I?
That's what I care about. And even if we get there, if he doesn't want to be found, I can't find him.
Well, we'll just get close enough. We'll see that he's safe or that he knows we're there, and that's all we can do.
What if he's not?
What's safer?
What if he's dead?
Let's hope that's not the case.
But he might be.
It makes sense that he would follow them. Perhaps we should follow them, hoping to find I.
I've perceived, obviously, those people in
Yeah,
there.
that group of people who are running away from
How
you
far
as you-
away are they?
What's the range on your dark vision?
60 feet.
So you can see, so they are 60 feet ahead of you, that if you want to follow them at 60 feet, you're going to have to roll stealth. You can follow their tracks after the fact, but if you want to be keeping up with them to this level that you can see them, you are going to have to roll stealth. Does that make sense?
Yeah, look, that's who I will be going and following. That means he can't be that far behind them.
Well, let's just keep up.
Fine.
We will run a roll stealth.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Have I still got pass without trace on me?
You do, yeah. What did everyone get?
21.
Do I add 10 to
You add
my
10.
roll?
Yeah. In addition to
plus
everything
my-
else. In addition to everything else.
So I still have
You roll a
my...
stealth
Yeah,
check
they're
as you
both
normally would,
numbers.
and you add 10 to it.
Okay.
It's a lot of numbers.
What'd you get?
29.
29. What do you get?
That one.
Okay.
Damn it, Dolly. Still think you're a horse.
I wish I was right now.
What are you you're you.
The Machiavellian grin.
You stumble. I'm going to say you've all kind of gone a little off the road. You're not running down the street after them. You've moved into the tree line. And I'm going to say that everybody else passed. Yeah?
Got 25.
And therefore, I wasn't sure I ever heard your number. 25. It's probably me. I'm sure you did tell me. You you hear Dolly stumble in the undergrowth. And the gloam keep running. But they sort of chance to look over their shoulder. And you see one of the workers looks over their shoulder. And they see you. And you see from a distance, going to have perception from there. Cool. You see that they stop and put their hands over their face. The rest of the gloam and the rest of the workers do not seem to notice. They keep running. But this one worker has stopped. And you see it is a gnome. Lots of, you can see in the darkness, and as they put their hands up, tattoos and rings on their hands. And they look at you and they put their hand out. By this point, the rest of them are starting to run off into the darkness. What do the rest of you want to do?
Would we have noticed?
You've noticed this, yeah.
How far was this person away from us? 60
This
feet?
person is 60 feet away from you.
I'd like to just watch what happens, please.
Okay.
Do they see us?
No, you
They
all
only
passed.
see Dolly.
You all passed. So, here's the sequence of events. You're all moving stealthily. Dolly fails to do so. That attracts the attention of the group, only one of which immediately and properly, profoundly clocks that Dolly is there. And they stop. The rest of the group continue to run on. But this one is stopped in the road and is staring right at Dolly.
I'm just dead to the floor.
You passed.
No,
I'm
just saying, but it's the stopping and waiting and seeing this interaction, noticing this thing happens and stopping.
You are no longer following. You are waiting
No
to see
longer
how this
following,
plays
I'm
out.
waiting.
I'm going to notch an arrow, break cover, and go out and stand next to Dolly. And I'm going to essentially point my arrow at this gnome, and I guess I'm trying to intimidate them.
Roll me an intimidation check. Roll me. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
I'm using second wind on. Sorry, that'd be. Actually, I don't need to use second wind on that because intimidation for me. That's a 12 with a d10 added to it. Makes it a 16.
Okay. This gnome takes a few steps towards you, Dolly, holding out their hand. And they pull down their face covering. And you see they have tattoos on their face, these beautiful sort of almost like sacred geometry, brown tattoos on their pale skin. And they start to smile. They put their hand out towards you and then Elowen steps in, knocks an arrow.
Do I still have the... No, I wouldn't have minor illusion still on my hand, would I?
Let me have a think. Because it was prestidigitation, right? It lasts for an hour. I'm trying to think, based on what someone else did, whether it's still there at the moment. I think it is.
Okay, I'll kind of like confusedly go.
And then in Hove's interview, Elowen. And the smile drops. And the gnome says, if they don't let them hurt you. Looking at Elowen.
Friend of yours?
Never seen them before in my life.
You trying to have this conversation without them hearing?
Yeah.
I guess I'm just sort of, yes, because I'm right next to Dolly, so.
Roll me stealth.
That is a 25.
Okay, yeah. This gnome is so fixed on Dolly, wait for your reaction, doesn't see that interaction happen, doesn't hear that whisper. It's you.
This time I checked.
I'm still moving.
You're still moving and doing what?
Well, I think I've clocked that this is going on.
Yes.
I want to try to capture this gnome.
Great.
I'm kind of sneaking.
Okay, so at this point, the rest of the gloam have like started to disappear down this road, and you're left with this one gnome. Roll me a stealth check to get close enough to make physical contact.
While he's doing that, I'm just gonna be like, who do you think I am?
What did you get?
25.
She says, you're the midnight moon.
Who?
Roll me, what do you want to try and do? Do you want to try and grab him? Okay, roll me an athletics check.
9.
She rolled a nat 20.
Slippery gnome.
You try to grab her, and you put your arms around her from behind. She doesn't know you're there, but she just slips out underneath, and she starts to run towards Dolly with her hand out. You're the midnight moon.
Who told you that? Who said that to you?
We've been waiting for you. You're here. He can ascend. He can ascend now that you're here.
I don't think we need to stay here anymore. I think we should leave right now. I think we're losing eye.
Don't go, please don't. Please. You have to.
Don't.
He'll be so happy to. Reaches out a hand.
Don't touch her.
Roll me intimidation with advantage.
Not great, actually. That is only a 9.
Here, she keeps walking towards you, Dolly.
I'm not who you think I am.
Roll me persuasion with disadvantage.
It's 16.
She seems confused, but not convinced. I know what I know. I know what I know, looking at all of you. And then turns to you, Cal. You keep away from me. You're dangerous.
I have questions. What is Haven?
Looking around at the three of you. Then she looks back to Dolly. It's so simple. Come with me. I'll show you.
Where?
To Vigil, to see him. It can all take place now.
No, I don't think.
You're even more beautiful than he told us.
Do you know this Vigil?
Of course she does. He lost everything when he lost her.
That's a lie. He didn't lose me.
Dolly, you know Vigil.
Sounds like I do.
Are you coming with me?
Where are you going? Where is he? I'm
Haven.
not coming anywhere. I just want to know. Where?
We're taught to guide you home to Haven. And now you're here. Of all the people in all the world, of all your children, I'm the one who finds you.
Where is Haven? And what is it?
It just points down the road. It's where we live.
Is it a village?
You can call it that, I suppose. Come with me. She tried to take your hand.
We need to make preparations. We need to just prepare ourselves. We're not coming now. Why don't you go ahead and we'll catch up.
But don't tell anyone you saw us.
We want to make it a surprise.
I have to tell them that you're coming. That you're here.
How close are they?
How close are they to you?
Yeah.
You could get there trying to reach out and touch Dolly.
Can I try and knock them out?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Make an athletics check. I'm gonna say you can subdue them and then knock them out.
I don't need to roll that with advantage, which I do, because it's an at 20.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna say, this is like a commoner.
Yeah.
8 HP. If you want to do non-lethal damage.
I just want to knock them out.
But
Just hilt of the dagger.
Hilt of the dagger. Out like a light.
I guess we need to talk. Do you think that's where I is?
Well, look, I's following the gloam. He probably doesn't know about any of this, but it looks like it's all happening in the same direction.
The gloam are long since gone. You can't hear their footsteps. You can't hear anything.
Who is this Vigil, Dolly?
His name's not Virgil. Not when I knew him.
You don't have to do this now.
Sounds like we do. We need to get I back.
No, I mean, you don't have to go into this now.
Well, let's get off the road at least.
Can I come out now?
I would also like to come out.
Yeah, I keep forgetting you're here.
Yes, so does someone else.
What was that? And what's that?
Look, Dolly got spotted by one of the workers. They got a bit excited. We had to stop them.
We've lost the gloam. They've gone.
We know where they're going.
Where are they going?
This path.
Haven.
I'm going to roll perception to see how much of that was heard by Parvis. Parvis rolled an 11, so I would say he recognized the dynamic, heard the bare bones of it, didn't hear all the details, didn't hear about Vigil, but certainly heard what he called you.
Mm-hmm.
Perception?
I got a 16.
I'd say you heard a lot.
Mm-hmm. What did he say? What did they say?
A bunch of nonsense, quite honestly. But
Didn't sound like nonsense.
Midnight moon.
that was his name for me.
Whose name?
Apparently his name's Vigil now. When I knew him, his name was Knox.
And that's who's running this whole thing.
Back before the web, we had a gang of sorts. We ran around Bruin. It was all small stuff. It was like, card shark stuff, or just some light embezzlement, a little bit of fraud here and there. And then Somnium. This was his plan to supersede the web in Bruin and make our fortunes, and everything was going to be so nice and wonderful, and obviously it didn't work out that way. And Webb got word of it. He decided it would be better off for me to be sold in service to the Web rather than him. First I heard of that was when the Web came knocking on my door. Never saw him again after that.
And now he set himself up as some kind of a god.
Sounds like it, doesn't it? But I don't know what story he's been feeding these people.
Sounds like you're quite important. Even more beautiful in person.
Well, I wouldn't say that about someone I sold out. Clearly I didn't mean that much to him back then.
What are we going to do about this body?
get it off the road for now. She'll wake up eventually. But we need to go get Aoife, if that's the plan. Whatever we find in Haven, we can decide what to do when we get there. It's your choice, but we're here for I right now anyway.
I don't think we can go undercover. If that person recognized you from that distance in the dark, you walking into a well-lit whatever we're walking into, they're going to know you immediately.
What other plan do we have?
Maybe we use that to our advantage. Every time we've walked into a scenario, people have been hostile. Maybe it's nice to be welcomed for once. And I know you're going to suggest that it might not be beneficial for you, but look at you. You can deceive the best of people.
Not him.
But you're not doing this alone.
We need to get I back.
The last time you guys tried to deceive anybody, you ended up dimensioning door out of there, we ended up burning half of it to the ground, and now I is missing.
I grabbed the gnome and I dragged the gnome
Thank you, Candace.
You drag her into
into the bushes.
Okay, you put her in the bushes. She's out. You don't know how long she'll be out for.
Lightly snoring.
Just a light tap.
We're going to go there now.
The plan was always to get close enough just to see if we can hear anything, see if we can figure anything out. We never planned to go in there.
No. But it sounds like we at least need to find out what... I have no idea. What is all this about? I swear I don't know.
That's fine.
Right now it's about getting I back.
Okay.
Have this idea.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Kel, anything you want to share?
I could use my amulet to appear to be this gnome. Could be helpful.
And I get that, but last time you decided to change back into yourself in a place there was no one else to help you.
It had to be burned.
Maybe it just wasn't then, and maybe it just wasn't that way.
I say let's go towards Haven. Let's try and find I. We can look at it from a safe distance. Try and be stealthy this time.
I don't know, my hands are shaking a little bit, but I'll try.
Probably from all the horse riding you've just done.
Pretty beat after that, actually.
Were you and Nox romantically engaged?
Yeah, you can put it that way if you like.
If he sold you, why does he want you back?
That is the question, isn't it? I don't have that answer right now. I could have run from the web, right? Like, you can run. The only reason I stayed as long as I did was because they promised they would find him. I could never have found him on my own. Apparently, I'm just walking into it.
Only no one runs from the web.
No, I know.
You and I both know that.
I feel that there is something you're still not telling us.
Promise you. You know, a lot of guys with Radian be like, that was what I was promised. This was meant to be my last job.
Then let's make it your last job.
Come on, let's head towards Haven.
You start to stealth, or maybe not stealthily. You're just moving. Are you moving at speed, or are you moving slowly and carefully?
Slowly and carefully, please.
Slowly and carefully,
Okay.
yes.
I want to have you roll 3 stealth checks. Everyone. A 1, a 2, and a
Oh, and
14
for
from
all three.
Parvis.
3 stealth checks.
Yeah, just roll 3. You can add a 10 to each one.
So my first one was a nat 1.
Uh-huh.
And then it was a 12, and then it was a 16.
Okay.
12, 15, 19.
16, 14, and a dirty 20.
Yeah. Go ahead, Cal.
32, 33, and a,
Oh, yeah.
That pass without trace in the
and a
wild.
dirty 20.
Okay. So that's 9 passes, 3 fails. That's pretty decent. You cover quite a lot of ground. And you reach an area where there's a rise in the ground. And the road undulates in a sort of S shape or like a curve. On your left-hand side, there's a body of water, like a lake or a pool. And just up the road from you, you see I running towards you. And we'll take a little.
Hi, I'm Ben Starr, and if there's one thing I love most in the world, it's the sound of my own voice. But don't jump to conclusions, I'm not that shallow, and I'm certainly not just a one-trick pony. Peel back the superficial layers of my godlike features, and you'll expose yourself to a level of emotional depth that isn't just interesting, it's downright terrifying. Imagine peering into the tentacled eyeball of a divine Lovecraftian entity and gazing on its unknowable cosmic perfection. Your mind would literally explode. I like to think that's exactly what would happen if you had the brazen audacity to ask me what I had for breakfast this morning. The answer will always be eggs, but the meaning behind it carries with it the power of 1,000 billion exploding stars. So if you had to ask me what's another thing I love that's adjacent to but not necessarily the same as my voracious interest in the sound of my own vocal cords, it would be my adorable obsession with capitalism. I love to sell stuff, and I love people buying the stuff that I sell. The richer I am, the happier I am, and you want me to be happy, right? Because you wouldn't like me when I'm sad. Things get tentacled, and not in a good way. So that's why I'm here to announce Merch Drop 2 for Natural 6, coming out on May 30th at 4 p.m. BST. And I'm fully aware that you're most likely to want to see the sweet goodies before you part with your hard-earned human monies. So here it is, all at once. That's right, I'm literally wearing and/or holding all of it. Pause the frame, examine my intriguing physical features and choose your poison. Or you can just buy it all. You never know, I might insert myself into the mail alongside it. Our last drop sold out in under 30 minutes, so make sure you're there to grab it while stocks last. With stunning custom dice, a brand new God Killers t-shirt, stickers, tote bag, and pin, we'll have you walking around like human Natural 6 billboards in no time plus shipping. So, make me happy and buy things so this ad doesn't age like milk. I hate milk because I'm lactose intolerant. That's some deep Ben lore right there.
Oh, and we're back.
Ben's always been
Radian was here the whole time.
Oh God, you're here! Is that, we decided now that's what we do?
I think
Did you guys
so.
just look at each other and do that?
No, I did it, and then Holly and Doug were very quick on the uptake,
I got the
slightly less so
peripheral.
from this
I
side
was
of the
caught
table.
out by my lean.
Always on the lean these days.
Yeah.
You are going to fall one day and
Listen,
hit your head.
he and his character are taking some more risks. They're swinging for the fences. And speaking of which,
Sometimes you got to get that home run.
I'm going to say it's now 1 o'clock in the morning, the small hours. And as you near the curve in the road with a lake to one side and the rise in the ground to the other, you see your companions creeping through the tree line. You're, at this point, in the middle of the road. And you see him, and he sees you.
Where did you go?
I has been on an adventure. And I has things to tell you. But, first I think we might needs to go back that way. And I gesture the way that you've come.
Why?
Well, when the sun comes up, they will be coming back this way. We can decide what we wants to do, if we wants to be away from there, if we wants to be there, we wants to make sure things is burned, whatever. But what I can tell you is we does not want to just be going down this way right now, unless we is prepared.
What did you do?
Oh no.
So I followed them. Okay, I followed them, and I followed the one who with the mask and was being the most angry with us.
The leader?
This one. And I saw, as they ran, the hoods was down and long braids.
Mm-hmm.
Braids?
Yes.
Is woven.
You know a lot about hair, less about numbers, but anyway.
We have spent time by the campfire with the around the back and the braids here thing. So I followed them. And as I followed them, I sees in the woods there was less likes back there. More likes a baroon, but not a baroon small, but with the wooden walls.
A town.
Village?
Is a smaller one.
Barracks.
So houses, then wooden walls, and then insides, more protected.
Fortress.
things.
A wooden palisade.
Sure. So I took some risks. And I went inside.
Oh my god.
And what did you find?
Many, many peoples. Many.
Did they see you?
No.
Gloam?
Gloam and others. The Midnight's children and lots of this mushroom. But not like we've seen so far. Like the piles big and not dry, but big piles mushroom. And so I followed the leader and then I see someone else. They said that they was going to see a Lilith. So I was thinking I will see who this Lilith is. And as I go to find, I sees a ones with horns like you. But it was not these horns. It was the inside bones of the heads, as a mask. And the horns from the bones of the head as a mask.
They were wearing a tiefling skull as a mask?
Yes.
Roll. They were wearing an animal skull, which they had stuck.
Yeah. But I was thinking like the eye is kind of not quite
Totally
grasping,
fine. That's
like-
totally fine. If you're not understanding, then
Yeah.
yeah.
And so they had the bone, and there was your horns from it. So I looks at them because they was aware that they should be looking out for things. They was on alerts. They blew the whistle to go inside, so they was all on alerts. And I saw them, and they had the
Bracelets?
the bands, the lots, many gold around, and the staff. They were not of the glow. And they went in after the leader, and they was told, no, you can't come in here. And they said that they will go where they want in their town. So I follows. And
Are you texting right now?
Oh my god.
By the way, you're nailing this.
So I just had to interrupt.
And so I looks at it, and I thinks they goes into this building, and the Gloams is looking very shamed. They looks down, and they is embarrassed, and they is like, oh, and the horn one goes inside. And so I is thinking, how does I know what is in there? So I does a sneaky noise on the insides of the door of an. So that they opens the door and I can see inside because they think someone is inside trying to knock for the outside. And I sees that I can't get in, so I goes down to the side of the building. and I find a window, and I see some people inside, but I can't see them. So I takes a risk. And I opens the window a tiny bit. And I listens. And the gloam, and the midnight children, moon children of the midnights, they is working together, but they is not together. And they is less together now because of what we did. And they were at one another. And there is this trust. Because they were saying one of yours with the hand mark came and was pretending to be the gloam, and the gloam was saying no, and then the children were saying, but what's if maybe yous is the one who does not know who you has? And then they said a name. And they said Saladin. And the ones with the staff. Are you coughing right now?
I'm genuinely so sorry.
Would you like to take another little sip?
No, I'm so good.
And there was at odds. And the one who is the leader of the town and the children of the midnights said it was not them. They would not burn the mushrooms because it would be heretical to burn the mushroom. And
Big word, well done.
I is remembering things.
His nose starts to bleed.
And then they said, we is all here children of a vigil. And in the morning, they will return to the mushroom. I knows one thing. That's... They all sounds in the room like a use.
For those listening, I'm pointing at Eloin and Dolly.
They sounds like a use. Not like a use. In the room, they all sounds like a use.
As in the gloam or the...
Everyone. The ones with the horn.
Mm-hmm.
The leader we saw, and the person, the gloam leader in the room, I think is a Lilith, maybe. They said they needs to go see the Lilith.
Women.
Yes.
They were women.
Yes. Okay. They sounds like yous. And, when they said about Vigil, they said, I will speak to Vigil. He will wants to know.
Did they say where he was?
They just said that he was not likes this, and I think they says that he needs his rest. And I did not want to be seen as they were leaving the building, so I made an escape, and I climbs over a bit of the wall, but I found a bit of the wall where there is not as many peoples, but I don't know if there will be not as many peoples in the morning, or if it is just a time when it was then. But there was a bit of the wall where there were not as many peoples. And then I ran back.
You did the right thing.
You did good, I.
It's really good.
Thank yous.
I don't know that any of it makes any more sense than it did, but it's information, right?
He knows they is coming back to the mushrooms in the morning. They said when the sun rise.
Mm-hmm. Well, what do we do now?
I have an idea. They're all going to be heading back to the mushrooms. We certainly don't want to be anywhere near them when they do. But it means there's going to be fewer people in there.
This is true.
It's true.
I know you might not like what you find in there, but...
I honestly don't know. It's the strangest feeling. I've been waiting for this moment for years, and now that it's here, it's still on his terms somehow. And I don't know how that's worked out, and it makes me just have to be ready for anything when we do go in there.
I feels I might. What has happened with you?
Where do we start? So we went to go and find you, actually. We were worried about you. That's where we were headed. I don't know what we would have done when we got there, but that was all of the plan that we had. We bumped into someone on the way, one of the workers who was running. They recognized Dolly.
They knows you.
No, they don't know.
They don't know.
I've never seen that person before.
They don't know Dolly.
Pamela.
They didn't call her Pamela either.
They did know me by another name that I used to have.
Names is hard. So they knows you, but not you, but ofs you, but they has not seen you, but they knows about you. That's when you was not you, but yous before.
I guess I was me, but can't believe I'm saying this out loud again. My name to one person in particular was Midnight Moon. And apparently,
She knows Vigil.
Can you hear little kobold turning?
And Vigil wants her back.
Harvest and Kobold says, it is a lot to process.
I has already done lots of brain things today.
Other nostril starts to bleed.
Maybe.
Well, it sounds to me like Sir Vigil is not doing well.
good.
It sounds to me like a Vigil is interesting, and they did not want to speaks to a Vigil unless they had to, or he was. They wants to speak with him. They knows it is important, but it sounds to I like
Vigil must be in that town.
Well,
Probably in that building.
then maybe when they all leave in the morning to go assess the damage that we did, maybe that's when we make our move. I can't imagine he'd come out. That seems too small for him.
you changed how you looked once. Can you does this again?
I've done it numerous times.
With the
Oh, you mean with my...
you looked like another being. Not an animal, but a being. Can you does this?
I could try. Who are you thinking about?
It works in terms of like, it's fully visual, like, it's clothes as well, right? Like, because it's just an illusion.
If I really describes the one with the skull, face, and horn, that will hide the face. We does not need, no one will knows and sees from the face. Once they leaves, could be they owns this town. We could walk in.
It never goes well when we walk into these places. We don't know enough to pass ourselves off as anything.
We could...
There was walls. It's not, the door is, I looks and the door is big and heavy. It will not be easy to just open, and not from the outside. The walls, they is climbable, they has bark,
Maybe we don't hide.
That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe we just walk straight up.
fire. plates.
Well, that I can do.
Save the first cup for me. I need to speak to him first.
I'm the last.
Is there some things he thinks we could do back at the mushrooms that might keeps them there for longer? Because once they knows something might be happening back there, they will come. But if there is something when they gets to the mushrooms, if we has more on fire, I don't know, but something that means they does not just turn around and come straight back.
I've seen what you guys have done to those mushrooms. They're going to be occupied for a long time.
This has been a long day. Does anyone have any issue with maybe taking a bit of a rest before
I could
tomorrow?
use a rest.
We only has a few hours before they is going to the mushrooms.
Let's get the rest now. Prepare ourselves. As tomorrow, walking straight up to that place.
Let's try
We
and
do
stick together.
have cloaks and masks.
Who better than the god killers to deliver the child of the midnight moon?
Hollie, it's your call.
I'm done running. I'm done hiding. We walk. I need to look him in the eye. I need to find out what happened. What really happened. No more lies.
And we will walk with you.
As tribe.
Yeah, this time we stick together.
Let's do it.
Right, let's get ready.
And
Pamela owns two. I can only go to two.
what did you say?
Pamela owns two. One's two.
And two.
One's two. Pamela.
I will.
Oh my god, you're here.
I will point out, it would be remiss of me not to do so, that it's 1 o'clock in the morning. They've said they're going at sunrise. You don't have time for a long rest. You can get a short rest. You can take 4 hours. You can be there as the sun is coming up about 5 o'clock in the morning, wherever you want to be. But you don't have time to get everything back.
Okay.
Can I have a little scout around for a good spot for us to...
No. Yeah, of course you may. So roll me a survival check.
I ask because, once again,
Oh, yeah.
that may be a 3, but because of my reliable talent, it's not just stealthy stuff. I'm actually proficient in survival. So that 3 becomes a 10, so it's a 13 total.
It's absolutely wild, this. It's amazing. Like, there's a type of bard that gets this, but not to the level
wanna
that
say-
you get it.
Actually, I'll save it for action session.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Which you guys will need to go and watch now. So there you go, if you want to know what that was.
Wow.
Drop that little
Someone
teaser in there.
Someone is pleased with themselves. Okay. So what did you get?
13.
13. You find a reasonable place. It's a little bit away from the road. You don't find somewhere that offers both. You can't figure out somewhere that offers both shelter and a view of the road. So you go for shelter rather than a view of the road.
Is lucky we is in the summer here. I does not think we needs to be lighting a fire, so...
Sure.
Okay. Would anyone have anything anyone wants to do before you rest?
I'm going to go up to Dolly and have a little conversation.
Is this a conversation that can happen with everyone here? Or would you rather it wasn't?
Rather, it happened elsewhere.
Would you mind?
Yep.
Sure.
No D&D for you.
This is the most...
This is the most ever.
but it's cool.
Yeah, Doug, I'm going to have to ask you to step out as well.
Sorry.
No, Doug can stay.
Doug was preparing his blue spells.
No, I want Kel to be here.
No, Kel.
Please,
I want you to
please,
hear
please.
this.
Doug's
I want you to hear
passive
this.
perception is... Kel's passive perception is so high that even when he's not paying
He's
attention...
still knows what's happening.
I'm sorry.
I am too. You don't really need to be sorry.
I think I do.
I was spying on you. I was putting you all in danger.
You didn't have a choice. You never had a choice.
I wish I'd been braver than I am. Then I might have had a choice.
But look at you now. You're about to march up, granted with the rest of us, to someone who ruined your life. Meet them face to face. And give them the consequences of their actions.
I wasn't entirely honest before. It wasn't just embezzlement, small stuff. Did a lot worse than that. And I did it because he asked me to. Consequences of my actions.
But right now, you're here with the consequences of your actions. You're here with 5 plus an Antigua. The 4 of us, we're here because of the consequences of your actions. And as much as I sound like I don't, I really trust you.
Sometimes I wonder why. I am trying.
So am I. And I'm going to keep making mistakes. All the time.
You wouldn't be you if you didn't.
I just hope that you can forgive me every time. Some of them.
There's nothing to forgive. Exactly who you are. And this is exactly who I am. It's nice to be seen.
It really is.
Thanks.
No, thank you. Then we can stop making it awkward for everyone else.
I am sorry for stabbing you.
I don't know. I probably deserved it. Yeah.
You don't have to or anything, but she takes a new daisy chain out of her jacket pocket. I really meant it, you know?
Thanks. Radian goes into his pack and pulls out one of the many spoons that I know you keep doing it, you know.
I know.
At some point, I just started letting you do it.
Sure you did.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I noticed so early on. I was just like pretending and stuff.
Sure you did.
I was pretending.
Yeah.
I just thought, oh, I'll let her do it to make her feel big.
Insight, persuasion, or deception, don't tell us which.
Oop.
What'd you get on yours?
9.
18.
What were you? Persuasion or deception?
Deception. Honestly, I was. It was like, I just thought, you know, I'll just let her do it to make her feel important.
Yeah, thanks. I did.
Just so you know, tomorrow, whatever happens, I'm there.
I really don't know. I really don't know. But it's all led to this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the first thing you ever said to me?
No. What did I say?
I've been waiting for you. Truth is, I was waiting for you. Your information was what was going to get me here.
How'd it turn out?
I guess. The plans worked perfectly. Here we are.
Do you ever feel like this was their plan?
That's what I'm terrified of all the time. You can can outrun the web for a little while, but you always have to wonder if this is by their design.
You said it yourself, though. You're not a fly anymore.
And I want to make sure none of us are ever again.
You know what you are? You're a hornet. You're not a wasp, you're not a fly. You are the most dangerous thing to the web.
I like that. What does that make you?
Weird little guy. Just trying to get by.
Okay. Well, if anyone messes with weird little guy, they'll get in the hornet.
Sweet.
Sweet.
Thanks for this, by the way.
All right. Okay.
Anything you want to do before either of you rest?
I've still got the dahlia that Elwyn picked for me.
The pink one, yeah.
I'm just gonna take it out of my jacket pocket. And do you have any spells? Like, I mean, fireballs a lot, but like, I feel like I need to do something ceremoniously with this.
Okay. Yeah. And you want to do it?
Yeah, or, I just need to feel in control somehow.
Could we try something here where I show her my spell book and I get her to cast
as a one-off, not
As a cantrip,
usable.
just a
As a
cantrip.
one-off, not usable again as a mechanic later in the game for flavour.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I don't normally let people see this, but this is my little...
He opens
What
it
are
to a
these drawings?
Yeah.
Just ignore them.
You see that at the top of the page it says things I don't like.
Ignore that. Ignore that.
Is that my name?
No, your name, there's nothing on the list yet. I was just preparing because I'm
Okay.
just thinking, okay, so you see that there?
Yeah, God, you've got a horrible handwriting.
It says, I think that's how you spell it. It says firebolt.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
There's
so-
no Y in that, but sure, okay.
Oh, that's why I was doing it wrong. Okay.
Double your damage from Firebolt from now.
Add a D20 to your Okay. So put the dahlia down. Okay. Now read that. Okay. Picture that in your mind.
Right.
Now we have to use like a
God,
focus.
you have to do this every time?
Yes, I know. It's just why it takes ages. Okay, you need a focus of something. What do you have?
My dagger.
Okay, get the dagger out. Use that as your focus.
Thumb on the hilt.
Remember what you read in that book.
Yeah.
Focus using the dagger.
Okay.
Arcana with advantage.
That is a dirty 20.
And imagine exactly what you want to do to that dahlia. Exactly where you want it to go. What you want to happen.
Where the sun don't shine.
And whenever you're ready.
Like, just instantly up in flames.
How did it feel?
Oh. Thank you for that.
It looked really cool.
Yeah, it felt really cool. You feel like that every time? Yeah, okay.
I don't actually. Sometimes it goes really, really badly. In fact, can I tell you something? It goes worse more than I think it should.
Well, you're not exactly a typical... I mean, it doesn't come naturally to you.
No, it doesn't.
And yet, it kind of does.
I try and hide it. I don't try and do like cool stuff, to kind of, but it doesn't always go right.
You just look a little bit like you're not You know when you look at a fire and, you're watching it burn, you're not looking at the wood. You're looking at the flames. That's the impressive part. It's like your kindling is wrong, but you're still burning. You're still there. It's interesting.
I really want to find out what my kindling is. And I think that maybe somnium is the answer.
No, Radian.
But what if it is?
No.
But what if it is? You heard what Kel said.
I know what Kel said. And I appreciate that seems like such a convenient answer. Please, trust me when I say I've seen what that does to
But
people.
you said it yourself, I don't feel right. I don't feel right in this body.
You're the answer to that question, not Somnium. It might... I can't speak to what Kel does. Maybe that's a more controlled usage, I don't know, but it destroys people. Like, really.
Those are people who have no one. I have you. I have them. You'll keep me safe. I won't do it irresponsibly, but what if this is the chance?
I can't watch that destroy someone else.
It won't. Because you won't let it.
Don't make me have to pull you back out of that. I will, but... Fine. If you have to do it. Fine. But just wait until after tomorrow, maybe. Then you'll get a better handle on what it does to people.
I wasn't going to do it tonight. That would have been a very irresponsible use of my time, but...
Okay, just...
No, I know.
I don't like it. But I know it's very hard to say no to you, so... Let's see what happens.
I won't do it tonight. Or even maybe tomorrow. But I want you to be there when I do. No, if I do.
Okay.
Now we need to get some rest because you've got a big day tomorrow.
Yeah. It's always awkward running into an ex.
What is it like then? The good part, not the bad part.
The good part is... the best of everything. That's what it's all for. There's nothing if you're not with them. Every moment you spend with them is everything. And I guess that's why it hurts so much when you find out it's not reciprocated. But you'd be willing to give it all up just to get the good stuff back. I guess it's like a drug. Maybe I'm no better than them.
I'm sorry you lost the good stuff.
Maybe one day I'll get it back. Not without a little bit of closure, though.
I'm happy to help you kill him if you want.
Thank you. Be nice. Let's see how I go myself first, though.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Elowen's going to want to put a few jabs in, and I seems pretty keen to get stuck in, and, well, Cal will do something weird.
Well, if you're all there, I think I'll be okay.
How do you think Parvis is getting on, by the way? I feel like he's off at the moment. Like a.
Kind of just keep forgetting he's there.
I keep getting it. Like honestly, he keeps popping up, and it's like I know.
Like I know he's a little guy, but
I know he's a little guy, but he's.
Put a bell on him or something. I don't know.
Could you make do you think he'd mind?
Maybe.
Because I just feel like sometimes I'm just not aware that he's there, and.
Yeah, I think he's. I don't know.
He's starting to freak me out a bit.
At this point, Parvis, you hear a little pad of feet, and you realise Parvis has gone to have a piss against a tree, not far from where you are.
He's there. Look at him.
So weird.
Oh my god. Oh, these days. These are long days.
See him pull against the kind of chains around his neck. Oh, just puts one hand back.
Must be weird though, right? No, but for him, right, he was one of the most powerful beings in the world, and look at him, he's now going for a midnight piss with a chain around his neck.
You hear him mutter something to himself in Kobold, and you can hear him shaking one of his legs.
Shh, don't laugh. Don't laugh, you'll hear.
By the 9.
I don't know, maybe we should do something for him after all this, because make him feel a bit special, because...
Throw him a party?
Yeah.
Actually. Let's do that.
He's been down in the dumps and we haven't really processed it, and he was captured, like, I think this whole thing. Okay, obviously, in the future. Keep that in mind.
Okay. Like, I haven't got enough to...
No, you focus on that. I'll start thinking about the party. I'll start writing stuff down. Things I
hands back noisily. Like a load of old man noises in the middle of the night.
Okay, really gotta get some rest.
Yeah, we really do.
You're gonna go straight to sleep.
Yes.
Are you gonna go straight to sleep? Can you leave?
Ooh,
please.
Okay.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
19.
19. Radian, as you go to trance, your mind drifts. And it drifts into that same space that perhaps you've been to before, somewhere between sleep and wake, somewhere between imagination and dreaming and memory. And for the first time, it's like you see paths that you could walk down. And there are faces before you. One turned away from you is the back of her head, golden hair. One is the same angular golden-skinned face you saw once before. One is a scaled face, huge. Which do you wish to focus on?
Golden hair.
Your eyes are closed. And you reach out your hands, and there's grass beneath you. The hum of insects. Light behind closed eyelids. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh dear, 9, 10. 9.
It disappears. You feel the light behind your eyelids, and as you open your eyes, cold, darkness. You are somewhere you have never been. You hear a voice coming through this world of mist and fog.
I will have my satisfaction.
And in this featureless place, a figure starts to step towards you out of the dark. Erastus Gracie. Daggers held out by his side. He wears an overcoat, his features pale, gaunt, his eyes yellow, sunken, focusing in on you.
I have dwelt too long in unending darkness. I seek a life beyond.
And he makes a gesture with his hand. And something comes out of the shadow. A spirit. Something putrid and of decay, and it stands in front of Erastus Gracie. I'd like you to roll initiative. What did you get?
20.
Okay. Erastus acts first.
Yep.
He reaches out with a hand, one dagger still gripped.
Mm-hmm.
And he casts a spell.
As you roll.
It's a 13.
I cast shield.
You watch as this streak of lightning, the only light in this dark, gloomy, shadowy place, wreathed in fog, this jet almost, this jagged spark of lightning goes towards you, and you throw up shield and it licks all around to you to the side. You hear it crackling, this lightning trying to force its way into you to do you damage. Nothing.
Killing me will not bring you satisfaction.
He grits his teeth. He snarls at you.
I will take that risk.
That's your turn.
In front of me I have Erastus and another being.
Yes, so essentially I'm going to say Erastus is 30 feet from you. The being is 25 feet from you.
He's 30 feet.
So Erastus with the being 5 feet in front. So the being is 25 feet from you, Erastus is 30. They're within 5 feet of each other.
It worked last time. Let's try it again. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
For Erastus. 19.
He passes.
That is this spirit's turn. It rushes towards you and reaches out. And as it reaches out, at the end of its spectral arm, there is a rotting claw. That is 16 to hit.
Armor class is 18. I've got shield up.
Again, this claw. What does it take your armor class to? 18? 16. So you see these, there's like almost at the impact, it almost forces you to step back from him, and such is the ferocity of this creature's attack. But nothing happens. No damage to you. That is back to the top of the order.
Mm-hmm.
Erastus again.
Only you can free me from this.
He's going to let off another crackle of energy towards you. Rolls a 2.
Misses again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry whatever happened to you. I am sorry that I didn't choose this.
Just like you. There must be another way.
Roll me a persuasion check with disadvantage. You can still take your turn.
That's a 2.
I have lived 1,000 lifetimes here. Your words cannot help you, nor can they help me.
Maybe my words can't. But maybe this can. And I draw from the deck of many friends.
Sick.
They're not even here.
Wow. What are you trying to... You just want to use... Essentially, you're not rolling.
No, I'm just what the effects are.
You just want to take the effect.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll have then. I will have Erastus roll, because we don't... The spirits in this deck are not necessarily on the side of anyone.
No.
So you'll roll a d20 and Erastus will roll a d20. And we'll say that whoever is closest to what's on this card is favoured by the card.
Fuck yeah.
With one exception.
Okay. Do you want to? Should we roll first?
Let's. Let's.
In the tower.
Yeah, absolutely. Should we roll in the tower at the same time?
Yeah. Like they're competing. What are you using? Okay.
I'm using this spectrally white boy.
Okay. Okay.
A 14 for you and an 8 for me.
Yes.
So an 11 is a very interesting number to pull from the deck.
Yep. I'm gonna let you decide. Do you know where they're shuffled?
No idea.
Great, you choose. Do you want to see?
Oh yeah, of course. Give me a moment to bring that person up. I can't tell if they're going to be delighted or infuriated that this happened with them out the room. I think they will have seen us drawing deck. So you watch as you just sort of throw the deck. For the first time, you're not even trying to sense it. You're not trying to get any. There's nothing intuitive. You just pull from the deck, and this card fills this space with gold and dust and light, and you hear Erastus Gracie and whispers, and the whispers are louder here than they've ever been, louder here than anywhere else, and they coalesce into a single name. Mudlark. It's a 2. The 2 favours Gracie. In fact, it's the same number as Gracie. So we'll assume these two have a kind of kinship. And this rusty orange kobold with a grimy, dark green, grey jacket emerges. Looks immediately like an urchin, like a rogue.
Strangers, customers, got something that might interest ya.
And he opens up the folds of his jacket. And I'm going to have Erastus Gracie roll on a magic item table.
Wow.
And whatever I roll, Erastus will get. It might be completely useless.
Yeah.
That is a 5. You watch as a potion emerges from Mudlark's jacket. And you recognize this as a potion of greater healing. It emerges out of the central pocket and twists, and Mudlark goes,
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes now.
and this beautiful parabolic arc, it lands in the outstretched hand of Erastus Gracie. And Mudlark says,
Well, Erastus, don't drink it all at once.
Clicks his finger, disappears.
Who was that?
An old cellmate.
Didn't seem pretty trapped to me.
Some of us take our confinement better than others. Some linger in sleep. I am awake. I have always been awake.
I did not choose this for you. I am not the person you should punish. I drew you from the deck. I let you take my life. I did not take that from you. I am not the one you want.
Whom should I seek?
Dolly de Winter. She is the one you want.
Dolly de Winter. Yes.
You wake up. So it is the night. Is there anything, Radian's gone to sleep, Dolly's gone to sleep, is there anything that the three of you, with Parvus, if he exists, want to discuss or go through? Any plans you want to make?
Before I settle down...
All right, we'll leave the room.
I turn to Elowen and I just say, I've been thinking about you, Elowen. You're so very different from me. I lost my family. They were taken from me. You chose to leave yours.
Yeah, I did. And it ended up being the worst thing I ever did. I was very lucky that in some way I've been able to take that back. But not exactly sure what we're running towards, or sometimes running from, but I feel like if I don't figure it out, I won't have much of a home to go back to anyway.
I envy you.
Yeah, and that's what makes me feel really stupid about the things that I've done. I was really lucky, and I didn't see it. It's so rude, Alex.
I know, sorry.
I think I is listening to us.
I think he's had enough excitement for one day.
Agreed.
I guess if all of this is over, you know you'd be more than welcome back at Mouse with us. Plenty of forests around.
I like Mouse. We shall see.
We shall. Right, I'm going to get some rest because I have a horrible feeling this is going to go as well as it did Well, as well as it did today.
When we're ready to take that rest, I have a question for you, Harry.
Tell me, ask me.
I have options. I can reset my maximum HP changes, or I can automatically apply healing with dice result.
So this is a short rest. So in a short rest, unless there is something I don't know about, you may roll up to half your hit die, which for you would be 3 of your hit die, adding your constitution modifier to each roll, and gain that many HP back. In terms of spell slots, I'll leave you all to be the experts on your own spell recoveries. But you don't get a full heal.
Yeah, it's weird because it's saying 1d8 plus 3, total 7.
Yeah. So you have 7 hit die, 1d8 plus 3. 1d8 is your hit die. Your constitution modifier is a 3.
see what- that's
so
what
you
that
do
means,
half of them rounded down. So 3d8 plus 9.
Yeah, I was thoroughly confused by what it was saying. I was just like, what?
We don't do short rests all that often.
No, actually, I
It's
believe
much
like
more
the
it's
second
much
one
more
we've ever
common
done.
because like Radian has something called arcane recovery, so you can regain a certain amount of slots. If we had warlocks at the table, which we don't, they gain everything back after a short rest. Different classes have different.
1 o'clock in the morning. Was that right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. And what time are we? What time?
You cannot get a short rest if you have anything less than 4 hours, so it would be 5.
Yeah. So we're saying 5. Then okay, cool. I'd want to use
Of course. What did you get, Doug?
17
17 plus your 9, or 17 in total?
plus my 9.
You roll a d8. You add 3 to each die roll, so
Oh, so I get
it's
plus 3 for each die.
Yes.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So
Yeah, so
26.
17 plus 9, 26.
Great.
That's great.
You can roll me 1 fewer hit die then. Have you taken any damage?
No, it's not for the damage. I was going to say, I didn't want it to be like, are we doing 4 hours and straight, or is it there's going to be, we're doing a 5 hour and I can have a chance to summon.
It will be, like the sun will be up by, but like, here's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to make it easy. I'm not going to always make it easy for everyone to do everything that they want to do when there's a time limit.
Yeah.
So if you want to use an hour to summon you, I'm going to say you need to forego 1 of your hit die if you
I
have
took
any
no
HP
damage,
to
so I'm
recover.
happy to do that.
Fine. Yeah, great.
Cool.
Great, so you rest for 3 hours.
Cool.
The rest of you rest for 4. And anything that you do get back, I'll let you be the experts on.
Yep.
So light and dawn breaks over the Sister Forest. And you wake with that light. We specifically said that you'd picked a good shelter over a vantage point. So this is now up to you. You are not far from the area of the road which curves around the lake and has an area of elevation. As you haven't specified where you are, I'm going to assume you're not on that elevation or by the side of the lake. But it's entirely up to you how you now proceed.
Does we want I to send you up and see if we can seize them coming down the road?
Sure. It's a good idea. We need to figure out if they've actually left yet.
Then I go the chill and the little breath as I walk into you. As I walk into you, and I would like to just send you up into the sky to see if I can see a party that is either en route or leaving or has passed already.
Okay. Roll me a perception check.
17.
17. You see movement. The canopy is dense. We've established that the canopy is quite dense. And you are too far from Haven, certainly, to be able to see into, or even as far as that. But you do see with the 17 figures on the road, heading in the direction that you currently are.
Okay.
They're too far at the moment for you to ascertain numbers.
Okay.
It doesn't look to be 100 people.
Yeah. So you lands back down on my shoulder, sort of alert eyes, and you kind of see those eyes dull a little bit as my eyes come back.
They is on the road. They is coming this way. They has not passed us yet. I does not know how many. I does not know how long it will take, but there is a group that has left and is on the road.
Okay, so we wait till they pass, and then we should be able to just stroll on in there.
Does we wants to wait for them to pass, or does we wants to try and go begin the journey into the trees?
Let's wait for them to pass.
Okay.
We're not hiding.
No.
We're walking straight up.
Okay.
You can't see the road from where you are. You're still in your shelter, unless people want to get towards the edge of the tree line and be able to see them.
It's not. I don't want to do that.
I definitely don't want to do that.
I can perch you by the roadside.
So you sits in a branch. overlooking this road. And are you walking?
Yeah.
You're walking. How long does walking last?
I'm not sure.
Or is there like a limit on how many times you can do it?
No.
Cool.
Just
you seize. Well done, me. It's a lot happened. You seize these figures, approach, get near you, and pass.
Mm-hmm.
There's a group of them. We're still saying you can't count.
Still saying I can't count, but I mean, I guess I would know if there is more.
More of them than there are you.
Yeah.
But not by much.
Okay.
And you see the caster among them at their head.
Okay.
You
so-
don't see the figure with the skull face.
Okay.
The Glomes is there, the lead of the Glomes. And there is... I does not know, but there is more than there is us. What I can say is... there is still a number. This way.
Said we were walking in. I guess that's what we're doing.
Well, they has passed.
I'm not sure this is the best idea, but if that's what we have decided to do, then...
We're returning the child of the midnight moon.
She is a hostage, a prisoner. We are her guard.
She's a friend.
She is a friend.
protectors.
You knows this best. Which will work best? Hostage or guard?
Friends. We walk together. And if they want to try and separate us, they'll need to go through all of us.
Does you needs the mark?
No. I don't think so.
Fine. There's no time like the present. Let's get in there before they get back.
You head west. You make your way out of your shelter down to the road and you start to retrace Ai's steps from the day before. And just as you saw then, after a time, the forest partially clears. And you see, in the daylight for the first time, in the early morning daylight, 5:30, perhaps 5:45 in the morning by the time you finally arrive, you see a collection of sprawling buildings clustered around a wooden palisade 15 feet high. Some of these buildings look to be quickly assembled, almost like a shanty town. Some canvas. Some seem to have been here longer. Brightly coloured cloth. And the cloth shows little signs of wear and tear. There is almost no rain here. There is a gentle breeze. And above the palisade, in a little 5-foot gap that you can see before the canopy begins, you can see tree houses, raised platforms connected by walkways. You're still a little distance from it, but it's prominent enough that you can get a sense of the space. It is the size of a village, smaller than Yannick. Perhaps not dissimilar in scale to the actual villagey hamlet of Mouse. And everyone roll me perception checks. 13 for Parvis.
7.
7.
6.
6.
25.
25.
6.
6.
9.
No. You are all... Kelnis was the one who said he wasn't sure this was a good idea. But what Kelnis does have is clarity of purpose, and the point at which he trusts his friends, he'll go with them. And therefore he's able to master his anxiety and his apprehension more than the rest of you.
Yeah, losers.
And Kelnis, you can see that in these buildings outside the palisade, life is happening. Life, not in a military sense, life in a sense that you would find it almost anywhere there. You can see children running between tents. You can see people washing and cleaning. You can see a few people from your distance, you can't tell why, but just sat down in the sun. But this has all the hallmarks of village waking.
Normal life.
In the start of summer.
Are there guards on the gates?
Yes. You can see.
Are they glow or are they?
I'm going to say at the moment, even with a really high perception, you're not close in. I'll say you see a glint of light. What you see is there are raised, they're almost like watchtowers or platforms, perhaps behind the which I'm going to say that essentially whatever gaps I didn't explain, although it was explained very thoroughly, I'm not going to punish you by saying, well, actually, you didn't say there were 7 platforms. I'm going to assume that you said all those things. So I told you about platforms that were raised up and areas of the palisade which were less guarded and areas that were more guarded. And you can make out figures on these platforms and you can make out a glint of sunlight on something. It could be a mask, it could be a blade. And then you can see to the north, the northern edge, is a gatehouse with more figures on top of that gatehouse.
Okay. I pass this information on to the group.
How did you see all that? The sun is just right by
I does better in the nighttime. Yeah.
So does I.
Oh, you're here.
Radian Thornbear, a good man.
I will say this of the ones who is gone, the leader. I think she was like you, Radian.
What do you mean? An elf?
But even more closer to you, the way they moves. Feels like you.
What else?
I don't particularly have a great affinity with wood elves, despite how I look. How do you want to proceed?
One foot in front of the other. I'm gonna pick up the pace, otherwise I might change my mind.
In order to breach the gate, you have to move through these collection of buildings. Mm-hmm. You do that?
Mm-hmm.
You hear, look! And you see a little halfling, like a child, pointing at Dolly. It's the midnight moon! And they hold out a hand in which they seem to have painted a tattoo. White splodge. And this goes round these collection of buildings like wildfire. People are leaving their homes. People are looking out of windows, craning their necks. This commotion, this hubbub, is soon picked up by the guards on the watchtowers. And the closer you get, the more you see that some of them are glowing. And some of them wear cloaks of orange and purple. And they don't wear masks. And by the time you reach the gates, a crowd has gathered around you. People trying to touch the hem of your cloak, Dolly. People trying to reach out and touch your hands. They're calling you the Midnight Moon. She's returned. She's returned. I knew she would.
Well, he's done.
Well, whatever he's done, he's got one hell of a cult going on.
And you reach the gates. and glowering down are the impassive metal faces of masked gloam guards.
What do you want to do?
We're here to see Vigil.
And that's where we'll end our session. So much to unpack.
Oh my word.
So much to unpack.
I don't know how we're going to do this.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
If you want to see us try, head over. If you want to see us try right now, head over to our Patreon, patreon.com/natural6, where you can get Action Surge, our post-show discussion right now. Alternatively, you can wait till next week, next Tuesday, if you're watching this on the day it comes out, and you will get all of that anyway. But if you just can't wait, there's a salve for that sort of thing. In any event,
Ointment for everything.
thank you. So this has been a logistically, technologically, and story-wise.
It's been one hell of a day.
It's been one hell of a day. It's been quite the ep. I am very tentatively excited to begin to unpack at least the edges of this with all of you. And we really appreciate you joining us on this journey, which has more twists and turns than any of us could have anticipated. We will see you very soon for more adventures in the world of Reliquia. Bye, everybody!